Stay out of the road. Almost every day now, the ducks are getting into the road, trying to cross the road to go into the neighbor's pasture. And it's getting pretty dangerous for them.
Yeah, a few times now we've been outside working and we've seen cars go by, and we don't get a lot of traffic, but we get several cars a day. And we've actually seen some of them have to really either like almost slam on their brakes or slow way down so that the ducks will get off the road. We just don't want to be those kinds of neighbors that have animals out in the road, and we don't want to potentially cause an accident. So today we're going to do something about it.
Today the ducks get quarantined.
That's right. They didn't know that they're going to be on quarantine, but they're going to be because they need to learn a lesson. So we're going to put up a temporary fence for them so that they can't get in the road anymore. So we're going to use one of our fences that we normally put around our gardens, and we're going to set this up. Now we're not going to electrify it because honestly that doesn't do much good for ducks anyway, but we're going to set it up so that they have to stay over here by their house, probably for a couple weeks.
Right. Well, the pen is all set up for them. Now we just need a food bucket and their little pool.
All right, we're gonna move their little pool in here so they have a good source of water. And for the next couple weeks at least, we'll be feeding them in here in the morning, so we won't get to see the duck run every morning, but they need to learn a lesson. We'll go get the hose and fill this up. All right, we've recruited Samantha to run the camera. We're gonna go round up the ducks and see if we can actually get them in there. If not, we may have to wait till dark, but I think we can do it.
Yeah.
Well, we found 3 of them.
There's 2 more.
Lock these guys in their house till we get the other 2.
Got 2 more to find. Well, we caught them all, wrangled them into their new little pen area. They're not very happy, but they'll be fine. Not only will this keep them safe from the road and hopefully train them not to go out into the road, but it will also give us an opportunity to collect duck eggs so that someday soon we can start incubating them and then have ducklings, more ducks on the homestead. Well, the weather today has been so windy. Right now it's actually pretty calm, but that could be because I see that there's a storm coming. I hear some thunder. So we need to move on quickly so we can get at least part of the next project done.
So the next project that we want to work on today is kind of resurrecting 2 of these old raised bed gardens that we have. Last year, Sarah grew zinnias in this garden, and it's been covered with the woven ground cover that we use ever since then. So there hasn't been much chance for weeds and things to grow in this one, which has been nice, just in the little holes where the zinnias were. So what we're going to do today is take up the woven ground cover, we're going to till this up, we're going to add some of our compost and till that in, and then we're going to put this back down, and then we're going to try an experiment of growing the rest of our seed potatoes through the holes that are already in this piece of ground cover. And we're going to see if we can grow potatoes right through the holes in here and see how that does. So as you guys know, we're on a mission to figure out the best way to grow potatoes in our climate here, and we're going to try this to see if it works. So far the ones that we put over in the new raised bed aren't up out of the ground yet, but I've got a feeling that they're going to be any day. So we need to tear up this ground cover, and then we'll till it up, and then we'll go get some compost. We're just going to peel it back. No, you can't.
Not with that. Yeah. We absolutely love this woven weed fabric that we're using. This is at least the second year that we're using this very piece. It's reusable year after year. It's really durable. This kind of fabric is available through growersolution.com. If you're interested in finding out more, you can visit their website. This raised bed garden, we had planned on, actually all of these raised bed gardens here, we had planned on just completely eliminating this year and expanding the in-ground garden up this way, but there's been so much rain that we have planned to resurrect these this year, just one more year to do some raised bed planting. The soil is not as saturated in these raised beds as in the ground around it. So we're gonna do our best to see what we can grow in here this year, and next year we'll plan to get rid of these and incorporate more garden this way.
All right, so we have that woven ground cover pulled up, and you can see it did a pretty good job of keeping all of the weeds out of here. The only spot there's even any chance of weeds growing is where the holes were. But in contrast, behind me or over here in front of me is a raised bed that we didn't have the ground cover on since last year, and you can see what a mess that one is. This is the raised bed where we actually grew our onions last year, and after the onions were done, we just didn't do anything with it, and this is what it's turned into. So we've already talked about the fact that if we start to do many raised beds again, our plan going forward will be either we'll grow through the ground cover like we're going to try with the potatoes, or as soon as whatever we have planted there is done for the year, we'll cover it with a solid piece of ground cover, so the next year it's already weed free. But anyway, that's for a different day. Today we need to get started on this one. I'm going to go grab the tiller and we're going to till this up.
Last week we built a brand new raised bed garden just for potatoes. It's 4 feet wide by 24 feet long. We're growing 4 rows of potatoes in there every 12 inches, but that raised bed garden is just not going to produce enough potatoes for our family for a whole year. We may still not be able to produce enough potatoes for our family for the whole year, but we're going to try our hardest to plant as many as we can. So we're planting this garden today, and the very next garden we probably won't be able to get done today because of weather coming, but we are going to plant that one also with potatoes.
So because my tractor doesn't go in any further, the bucket of the tractor, we are going to have to hand shovel this into the bucket of the tractor, but that won't take long to fill up. Then we'll take a load over and dump it in the garden.
Well, I think that addition of this compost really loosened up the soil nicely and really rejuvenated the nutrients. And I think this is going to be a really great bed for potatoes now. So while we still have some daylight and the storm hasn't come yet, let's put back down the woven weed fabric and get planting these potatoes.
Well, we just had about an hour or so storm that blew over. Everything is a lot wetter than it was a little while ago, but it finally cleared back up, so we're going to try to get this finished yet today. So now that we have the woven ground cover down, we're going to try using this auger to dig the hole so that we can plant the potatoes. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's an auger that attaches to your drill. And basically, you can use this to drill holes down into the soil. I got this last year. I bought this on Amazon. I'll be honest with you guys, I thought it was going to be just a piece of junk that didn't work. But I figured, what the heck, I think I got it for like $15. And I thought it's worth a try. It works really, really
I love it.
Well. Yeah, it saves so much time having to hand dig holes for everything.
Yeah, especially for like tomatoes and pepper plants.
Right, yeah,
They're
things
amazing.
that need to be dug like deep. This is really, really useful. In fact, I think we're going to buy a second one this year so we can both have one and work, you know, both of us at the same time. So we're going to use this to dig our holes for the potatoes, and because we need to put these down at least 6 inches or so.
4 to 6 inches.
Right, so we're going to use this. We're going to go, I'm going to dig the hole, Sarah's going to plant, and we're just going to get this done.
Now, when Kevin makes that hole down in there, it does put extra dirt up on the sides underneath the woven fabric. So after I plant a whole potato, we're planting whole seed potatoes down in there. A lot of the eyes are already growing. So once I put the potato down in the hole, I can, from underneath the woven fabric, I can grab on the sides the extra dirt and fill the hole back in. And then if there's any extras, I can just put that down in that hole of the woven fabric and press that down too. So I just wanted you guys to know kind of what was going on in there, because you can't really see very well because the woven fabric is covering it up. These holes are about 4 to 6 inches deep, and that's great for potatoes. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm just pressing it down as far as I can inside that hole and covering it up. And hopefully the sprouts that come up from the potatoes will come up right through these holes. We have a little bit of wiggle room with this woven weed fabric. We can move the plant shoots a little bit, but we think this is going to work out pretty slick and keep the weeds down.
Well, we got the whole thing planted. It was another 56 seed potatoes that we planted in this garden. The sun is about to go down. We're losing some daylight. So that's where we're going to end this video.
You guys, we hope that you enjoy watching us plant our food for hopefully the next year. We encourage you to also start doing that. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And the best way you can help us here in the homestead is to share our videos on all your social media. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.